Hey everybody, I hope you are all doing well. Today we're going to do something a little different. We are going to start a new series called Working From Home, where I'm going to interview some of the top professionals in your field. So when it comes to making real estate decisions, you can make the best educated decision you can possibly make. Today we're going to talk to Christine Turpen, one of the best, if not the best, mortgage banker in all of Albuquerque metro area. But first, if you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave comments. We'd love to hear from you if you want to know everything there is to know about living in the Albuquerque metro area. So we're going to let Christine talk a little bit. Christine, let's start out with the most basic thing. So what is a mortgage and why do we need one?
Okay. Well, a mortgage is a loan to purchase a house. And you need one because most people don't have that much money in the bank. So you have to have a mortgage to buy a house. Now, what the component of a mortgage loan is, and the payment is each month is divided, a few different components. It's principal. That is beautiful because when you're paying your principal, you're reducing your loan. And then, of course, that's all the more equity that you have. Interest. Homeowners insurance, and property taxes. And if you didn't put 20% down, you have what we call mortgage insurance. Now, mortgage insurance is a policy you pay. If you default, the lender gets paid on it. Doesn't do you any good. But it will come off on a conventional loan once you have 20% equity. So every month when you make that mortgage payment, the portion of it that's insurance and the portion of it that's taxes goes into an escrow account. I think the easiest way to think about it is it's a savings account. So that when the bill comes due for your insurance once a year, it will get paid out of that. When your taxes come due twice a year, it's going to get paid out of that account. It is a comprehensive payment that handles the principal and interest, homeowners insurance, property taxes, and mortgage insurance.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's a great breakdown, and definitely get people started on the process. I get calls actually all the time where people don't even know where to start. A realtor or a lender is where you need to start. You need a good realtor and a good lender. It's never too early. I'm always trying to tell people this. They're always saying, well, I'm 6 months, I'm a year out from buying. It's never too early to start the discussion with the lender. I send people to Christine all the time so they know where to go. If, maybe you're not quite ready to buy, but putting your money into paying down certain things may not be as beneficial. So you want to make sure you leverage whatever money you have to fix your credit or to pay off debt in the correct way. So you're not wasting time and wasting money so you can get into a house, which kind of brings us to our next thing, getting into a house right now in this market. We're all hearing on the news, oh my gosh, everything is going to fall apart. Or 2007 again. It's not true. It's not 2007. We'll do a video on that coming up, why it's not that. So Christine, why don't you go into a little bit on what mortgages look like right now, what interest rates are like, we'll start with the problem. What's our problem right now?
Well, they call it a problem because we've been spoiled rotten. Okay, so, interest rates are higher than they have been as of late. Okay, so, we were spoiled a couple of years ago. We were down to the threes, unheard of. What's average is 5%. Okay, first time buyer program right now is 6%. It's not that high, right? Okay, and then on just a regular loan that's maybe not a first time buyer, we can be, up to the 7. So that's what that's the difference right now. And so it's really more than anything that we're spoiled rotten. And so, yes, rates are higher than what we had seen the last few years. Now, not the same in my industry right now. We think it's cute, like you too. But we're saying you're going to marry the house and you're going to date the rate. The reason we're saying you're going to date the rate is we don't anticipate that you're going to be in the loan that we give you probably no more than a year. Okay, and the reason that is when we hit a recession, 100% of the time, interest rates go down. We do anticipate rates are going to go down, and we're going to refi you out of that loan. So my thing is, you've got a house. Everything is telling us that houses are going to still appreciate next year. Last year houses appreciated 10%. We are anticipating a single-digit appreciation. But the nice thing is you got in before house prices got any higher. You know, we're going to get you into a payment that you can afford, and it's going to become even more affordable. So we can get you into even more.
And I've been telling people on my side of things, right now, you're going to have less competition. It's going to be easier to negotiate on repairs. You're going to see a little longer market time. You know, you can wait the evening. A few years ago, you could go look at a house and sleep on it, see if that's the house you want to buy. So on average, I think I spent about 15 minutes in a house before and last year, you had to make that decision before we left that house. Otherwise, someone else was snatching it up. So people were buying out of desperation because they needed something, and they were just buying because that was it. So you're going to have a little bit more time to shop, a little bit more opportunity and options. And builders have slowed down dramatically again. As soon as those rates start dropping down again, everyone that's waiting is also going to hit the market. Prices are going to skyrocket again. We're going to be back to the days of having, no repairs, not able to ask for anything to be fixed. You're buying as is, paying seller closing costs. It's a great time to jump in to avoid that. You're going to end up paying the same amount with a lower rate because you're going to get a more expensive house. So we talked about some problems. I'm assuming you have some solutions.
Okay, well, first of all, I just explained the first-time buyer program because the beautiful thing is we get you in with minimum down. What we do is we give a second mortgage of 4% of the sales price. It goes into a second mortgage, and that's what we cover the down payment and the majority of the closing costs with. But we also have a deal called 2-1 buy down. Now, I feel like this is a little confusing, so please, if I don't explain it so that it's elementary, please just, have me clarify. Let's just say the interest rate today is 6%. The seller is motivated, and I have seen this is happening, you guys, houses that are sitting a little bit, the seller's ready to give money. So what they give us the money to make your interest rate, the first year in it, let's call it 4%. So you're paying a payment based off a 4% interest rate. The second year would be 5%. And then the third year on, you'd live with 6% if we're not going to go ahead and refinance you out. Now, how that money comes from the seller is please calculate what the difference between a 6% interest rate and a 4% interest rate. And then we collect that money from the seller. And the same thing for that 5 year. We figure out what a payment is on a 5% versus a 6%. And then we collect that money from the seller. The cool thing is, too, is that we're going to end up refining you out of the deal before you hit that third year. You're going to have money left over in that account, and we can put that towards the refinance.
And the nice thing on my end, on the real estate end on that, you can use it for negotiation. Because if they're doing, if they're going to look at a 10% price drop, where you're going to offer a lower price, may only be 3% for the seller to pay that interest rate drop. So it can be a win-win where, the seller is going to make a little more on the back end of their property instead of doing that 10-15% price drop and only doing a 3%, but you're going to save significantly. And remember, again, we look at you live in the monthly. So, and when you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, when you're making an offer, a couple $1,000s is nickel and diamond at that point. So if you can get the seller to pay that, it's going to drop your payments significantly more than if you drop that purchase price.
Yeah, Josh, and one thing I want to add, I think there's a thumb rule that kind of helps, bring home your point. For every $1,000 that say that seller would reduce the sales price, that only changes it $7 per month. So you get a lot more bang for your buck doing it the 2-1 buy down than you do if you just take a price reduction.
So let's talk about rent versus buying. I know a lot of people are either stuck in rentals, or I've been hearing a lot that renting is just more worth it, or buying is not worth it at all, which is terrible financial advice. Putting your money in real estate, you're always going to have a higher net worth.
Okay, and I'm just going to add a little personal note on. I personally own 3 rentals, all now free and clear. Personally, my safety net is my real estate, and there's no better. And especially now, I make more and more money because of the rent. So yep. say is I am personally a believer and live it.
Every millionaire makes the vast majority of their money not in business, but in real estate investment.
You are so right. So, first of all, the prediction for rents for this year is that they're going to go up another 8%. Okay? I think the big thing is that when you're renting, you have no control. When your lease is up, you don't know if your landlord's going to raise it $100, double it, or what. I have a friend who's living with 2 roommates. The landlord doubled their rent.
Or they sell it out from under you. I get calls all the time. Hey, my landlord's selling the house. We're month to month. He gave me, 2 months to get out. They can do that, especially if you're month to month.
Rents are just going up and up and up, and the prediction is they're going to keep going up. Okay?
Yep.
So what I did is, first thing the thing to consider is that a mortgage payment stays consistent. Okay, we went over the items that are in there. The interest rate, of course, can never change. We're going to be normally in a fixed rate. Okay, there's adjustable rates. We're not going to talk about those. But if you're in a fixed rate mortgage, the only thing that can go up is taxes and insurance. Okay, taxes. There is a law in this state called tax lightning. They are not allowed to raise your property taxes by more than 3% after the initial one, that just gets you to the value. After that, it can never go up more than 3%. The insurance carriers cannot raise your rates until they've gone through the insurance commission to approve it. But I will guarantee you the insurance commission is not going to allow them doing anything crazy. The beautiful thing with your mortgage is your mortgage payment is going to stay consistent. If you have no surprises, you're in control, versus, renting. Now, what I did is just to kind of prove the difference of what would happen, I took a $400,000 house. I even did an interest rate of 7%, which is a little bit high right now, even. Okay? And I pulled it out to what does it look like year 9 of you buying that house versus renting. Now, in the first year or so, the mortgage payment was actually $300 higher than the rental payment. But see how this all plays out, okay? In 9 years, you have 2 things that have happened. The house appreciated, okay? And 9 years is a decent amount of time. And, again, we have experienced appreciation, the majority of those years. The other thing is that part of your payment has been going to pay your principal balance down on your mortgage. So that means that all the more equity you have in there. The numbers work out that after 9 years, you actually are $254,000 ahead than if you rented.
And like we love to say, renting is 100% interest. Awesome. Well, that was some great information. I hope you guys learned a lot. If you have any further questions or you want to talk to either of us, Christine's information is in the description down below. You can get a link right to her website, contact her through there. All my information, you can set appointments on my website directly. We'd love to talk to you. We'd love to answer all of your questions on real estate. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much for hanging out with us today, Christine. This is not the last. We will see you, hope, and we'll get some more really good information from you later. Thanks, Christine.